This was a fruit on the verge of evolving into a humanoid form, but in the next moment, a man swallowed it whole, completely unaware of the danger the red fruit would bring. That night, he dreamed he had transformed into a towering ancient tree. Occasionally, birds would perch on his trunk, and fungi would sprout along his branches. Although it was just a dream, it felt incredibly real to the man. He was a lumberyard owner, having seen countless ordinary trees, but he had never encountered a monstrous tree like the one from his dream. Determined to find it, he braved harsh weather every day, following the approximate location recorded in his dreams. To his astonishment, he actually found the towering ancient tree in real life. However, he had now turned into a wooden stump. In the next moment, his legs grew weak, his toes rooted to the ground, and his entire feet fused with the tree's roots. He cried out for help, but luckily Jack noticed him in time. By the time the villagers brought the man back home, all three of his legs had turned to wood. Shocked by his completely tree-like legs, intense anxiety prevented him from making any sudden moves. He begged Jack to save him. Jack asked if he had eaten a certain red fruit, which contained the essence of the ancient tree. When such a plant was dying, it would seal all its memories within its seeds. If a human or animal consumed it, they would become part of the tree, and the man's recurring dreams were actually the memories of the tree. Understanding the cause and effect, Jack admitted that this was an incurable condition, as no one had ever escaped the ancient tree's grasp since time immemorial. This time, Jack finally decided to seek his master's help, hoping to save the poor man. The real problem lay within the village. The man's mother told Jack under the ancient tree that 15 years ago, the tree wasn't dead. The village had just begun to thrive on the lumber industry and intended to sell the ancient tree for a hefty profit. However, the villagers couldn't even strip the tree's bark. Gradually, the ancient tree became a revered symbol in the eyes of the villagers. Then disaster struck. A massive fire burned down the carefully nurtured saplings, destroying all surrounding trees. The villagers lost their jobs, and chaos ensued in meetings. Finally, a man decided to take action against the ancient tree. He had heard that a wealthy merchant was offering a high price to buy the tree, so he wanted to sell it to save the entire village. Although the villagers were reluctant to harm the tree, their starving condition forced them to each grab an axe and head to the ancient tree. The tree seemed to have foreseen the crisis, blooming extraordinarily vibrant red flowers. Some villagers were too frightened to approach, while others, braver men, swung their axes and managed to make an incision in the tree. From that moment, the villagers no longer feared the ancient tree. In less than a minute, the tree was severed in half and it began to secrete a strange green liquid. The villagers didn't know what it was and didn't pay much attention. The bounty from the tree successfully saved the entire village, but shortly after, something miraculous happened. The saplings that were supposed to die miraculously revived. The villagers finally understood that the ancient tree's mysterious liquid had saved their village. However, the ancient tree's will had somehow possessed the man, causing the villagers to fear it as retribution. The man's wooden legs began to sprout dazzling red flowers, and he would inexplicably wake up at night, murmuring that something big was about to happen. That very night, he began to rally all the villagers to evacuate urgently. With the ancient tree's centuries-old consciousness, the man could clearly foresee impending disasters. Suddenly, the ground started to shake and a massive earthquake swept through the entire village. After the disaster passed, although the village was utterly destroyed, all the villagers survived. They couldn't believe they were saved once again by the ancient tree. The man's condition didn't worsen, and the villagers came to believe he was the incarnation of the ancient tree. They often helped him, hoping to repay the tree twice for saving their lives.